Hey everyone, I'm Mike DeLong. Welcome to the Tater Talk podcast, where we explore the fascinating global potato processing industry. We'll share stories and insights about flakes, fries, chips, and crisps, and everything in between. Let's dig in.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tater Talk podcast. And today I've got Keith Eastman from Trinity Trailer with me today, and we're going to talk about something every potato processor needs to think about, is how to get the potatoes from the field to their facilities, whether it's a storage facility or straight to the plant. So Keith, thanks for joining today. It's good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. This is awesome.
You've been with Trinity Trailer for how long now?
Just a little over 14 years.
14 years, right in Boise, Idaho, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it used to be the edge of nowhere. Now it's kind of growing up around. Yeah,
it's no longer the edge of nowhere. Yeah,
it's very surrounded. Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff going on out here. We've got chips, but different kinds of chips. These are microchips. There's a big chip fab going in over here, and all sorts of technology, and out here in Boise, Idaho, right as you come into town, you'll see us.
So we want to learn today about Trinity Trailers and what Trinity brings to the potato industry, and I'm very interested in that, but I want to learn more about you first, because
Sure.
I'm always curious about how people get into the potato industry if they didn't come from, or no matter what their background, basically. Sure. So let's rewind before Trinity, before your time at Trinity. Tell me a bit about your background and how you ended up at Trinity in the first place.
It's just like a lot of stories, it didn't start the way you think it was going to go, and it ended up in a great spot. I started, so I was born and raised here in Boise, and both of my parents were in banking. And so city kid, I didn't do any ag. I was very much a city kid, but grew up outside, loved the outdoors, and lived here in Boise. My dad, though, when he was working for banks, one bank in particular, he did a lot of ag lending, and some of his biggest customers were some of the largest potato producers here in Idaho. And so we grew up when certain folks, I won't say their names because I don't know if they want me to talk about them on the podcast, but these potato boxes would show up once a year when the potato growers would come to pay their bills back after the harvest. And so we would get these boxes of potatoes, and man, from the time that I was a kid until I worked here at Trinity, like those names of potato growers like always sat in my mind. And in fact, when we moved my parents out of their place here in Boise, there were these potato boxes were holding some of our keepsakes, like some of our lifelong memories. Like, so it's just like, I know it's maybe a little bit of a roundabout way of getting to why potatoes are special, but growing up here in Boise, I went to Boise State, which is what you do when you're in Boise. Hey, might as well. And I was actually going for a criminal justice degree. I had it in my mind that I was gonna go into law enforcement, and I have a lot of buddies that have worked in law enforcement, friends that are still in it today, and did a lot of ride-alongs. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is the life for me. And so kind of went into this like, what am I going to do? And ended up getting a part-time job here at Trinity as a parts driver. And it was a great gig. I could still take some classes, and worked in the afternoons and went around and picked up parts and stuff from around Boise and the surrounding area, and just kind of got to know the company. I was like, this is actually a really cool place, and they take really good care of their employees, and I'm learning so much that I was like, well, while I'm figuring it out, I'll just stay here. And I'm still trying to figure it out, I guess, because I stuck around for 14 years. And,
but you're still there too. So that says a lot about the learning and the company itself, right?
Yeah, and moved around in the company. Was in multiple different positions. Was in warehousing and supply chain. Was in parts of production. Came over to the sales side as an inside sales rep, and then managed a few guys, and then ended up being moving over into marketing, and have been there for the last 4 years. Been in the marketing role.
So you're the marketing guy, and but you've basically, you've self-taught or whatever. Like, what other training have you been doing, if any, to become the marketing guy?
Sales. That was how I got there. Yeah, I just loved talking about the product so much when I would be out talking to people about buying them. Loved the process of talking about it, and so that's what I get to do now. I get to be a kind of a subject matter expert, if that's what you want to call it, but like somebody that's just been around the trailers and have seen them run in a lot of different operations. And so yeah, it was kind of a natural move. One thing that's taken me some time is getting to understand some of the nuance of marketing in today's market, in today's world. And but I'm a pretty fast learner, so I can, and I've got lots of help. I've got a couple people here on my team, and then we work with some really great people to get our message out there.
So when it comes to the company itself, give us a bit of a background on Trinity Trailers then.
Yeah. Well, and that's a fun story, because a lot of the people that are in the potato industry have been buying from us since we started. And so we started in 1975. The company was founded by a gentleman who was hauling products. He was hauling, I think he was hauling some potatoes, and he was using a trailer that at the time was the only trailer to use. It's like they call them board puller trailers, but that was like the only trailer you could use to move potatoes and other commodities. And he just was like, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Pulling these boards out, which, if you're not familiar with a board puller trailer, it's like a continuous spinning belt in the bottom of a trailer, and then you have to pull these boards out to help the load fall down to this belt that will then carry it out the back. And it's just labor intensive. So our founder designed a flap, but it was built with chains, crossbars, and flaps instead of a continuous piece of material. And that helped unload the product without anybody having to get in the back. So he called it the self-unloading belt trailer. And we were the first ones to have that. He invented it. So then fast forward a few years, and now we've got trailers running all over the world with varying different belt widths, different heights, lengths, axle configurations. But he built it loosely instead of having a rigid frame that runs the length of the trailer like most trailers do, like a flatbed or a van trailer. This trailer was built with like a flexible side frame. So he loosely built it on a suspension bridge design with a truss where it comes to the middle, and then it's able to flex going over the uneven terrain in the farm fields. So you could hook this, at the time this was so unusual to put a piece of like a trailer like that in the field. Most of the time they would load them in the field into some sort of a bunker or something like that, like a pup trailer kind of a thing, and then they would load those into the semis on the side of the field. Now with this invention, with the Eagle Bridge, you could tow it through the field and load it directly, and then pull it up onto the road and haul it to market. So that flexibility kept you from having to make a lot of repairs on the frame because it's flexing and it's not twisting and cracking as much. And so that's the advantage. Originally built them out of angle iron. Now they're built out of 2-inch tubing and stainless steel sheets. And but that was kind of how we came to be. It was seeing a need and fulfilling it with a product that a farmer or trucking operation could load in the field and then take straight to the market.
So you've you obviously serve lots of industries, and you and I have chatted before. This is the Tater Talk podcast, so being in Boise, Idaho, how far have your trailer sales reached, either in North America or maybe even further around the world?
There's trailers all over. I mean, there's some supposedly in Holland somewhere. There's a couple of them. Maybe a couple in Russia. I don't know if this is the I don't know if this is the podcast to talk about Russia, but no.
There's plenty of potatoes in Russia, so yeah,
there are
no
lots
problem.
of potatoes over there. Yeah, so supposedly I've heard lore of that. Ones that I do know have gone a very long distances. We've shipped some to New Zealand, so that's the furthest of my known history with Trinity. Those are the ones I've actually seen produced and shipped out. So yeah, New Zealand's the furthest. Some in South America, but mostly here in the continental United States.
So farmers are your primary customers, or is it some of the more like the trucking companies?
Yeah, some are farmers for sure. A lot of farmers can probably relate that they wanted to be farmers, but they had to get into trucking to get their product where they needed it. So yeah, those mostly transportation companies or farm operations with transportation. Yeah. But we serve all types, and even some processors that just need a trailer to move product from A to B, maybe not necessarily in potatoes, but in other industries. Yeah, they move them around with our trailers.
I mean, the potato industry is a pretty mature industry, and you've had this design since the 70s. So how do you market something like that in this industry? It's kind of an established industry. It's a traditional industry. It's kind of a traditional product at this point. It's been on the market for 50 years. So what strategies have you found that work in this established industry?
Longevity is a huge one. People recognize that when you're making an investment in any piece of equipment, longevity is a huge factor. And so our trailers, though they're really built to be used for the long haul, for long periods of time, easy to maintain, easy to work on, and when you have things that need repaired, it's easy to do that. So the versatility is another way. Versatility is really what has been a big part of our business over the last 50 years. Is potatoes are only grown and hauled at certain periods of the year. I mean, they're hauled all the time. They're being hauled from sheds to processing, but for a farm operation, at any volume, they're moving potatoes for a short season, and a lot of times that's seed if they're hauling their own seed, and then hauling the harvested product as well. And so when operations go to invest in trailers, they go, that's an expensive trailer for running for 4 months of the year. And to that, we've been able to say for some operations, yeah, maybe that is the case. Maybe that is a sticking point for their business. But for a lot of operations, particularly in transportation, this trailer can haul grain. It can haul beets. You can haul all sorts of other products, carrots. I've driven up the Columbia River Gorge in the fall, and our trailers are hauling pumpkins. There's a lot of different products you can haul with them. So versatility is a big one. And the longevity. We have there's a customer of ours that I've been to a couple times that's in the Michigan, northern Indiana area, and they have a 1980 or 81. We were called farm bed back then, but farm bed Eagle Bridge trailer, and they'd run it every potato season, hauling product from the field to their storage facility. So yeah, longevity is huge. When you're buying something like this, you need to be able to rely on it, and that's why people continue to buy our product.
what about channels? Like, how do you market? How do you market to farmers or transportation companies in with today's channels that you have available to you, whether it's social media or trade shows or magazines, what have you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is through the internet these days. The way that we've found is social media is a big one. We both advertise and post organically on there. Utilizing some print media, we definitely do that. There's also a lot to be said about just the way that you present yourself to the market through your website. I mean, just having a website, once you get them in, okay, what are you going to show them? And our website, we went through it last year, and we added a lot of education. And whether people are coming into us through social media or through print advertising or through the trade shows, we were at Potato Expo, and we have these digital displays that we had in our booth, and engaging people with that, something where people could click on options on that digital display and see, they have a lot of different tarp options, belt widths, suspension spreads. So creating engaging booth spaces has been really helpful for us at trade shows as well.
Mm-hmm. What have you seen in terms of, purchasing decisions in the last, I don't know, call it year and a half or something like that? Have you seen velocity change at all?
Yeah, I think as a whole in the industry, there's a lot of like holding of breath, like waiting for the right moment. And so it's been kind of interesting, just like any business, it ebbs and flows. You have times where you're just like, you're feeling like, man, we're going to meet this demand and people need a lot of trailers. And then at other times you feel like, okay, it's gotten a little quiet. We need to go back to the roots of serving our customers and engaging with our current customers. But, in the past year, I've seen a lot of operations that they are holding their breath and waiting, and they just reach a point where they're like, I can't wait anymore because I got product to move, and I know that the markets are down, or I'm not getting as much for my potatoes as I'd like to, as I would hope to. I've got a balance sheet that shows more red than it does green, and that makes me anxious. But I've got stuff to move, and so that's really why we've over the last 6 years we've offered in-house financing, some options for people that they can't get anywhere else, and that's helped tremendously. Just giving people another option of how to buy and not feel like they've got to go find the money and then they've got to come talk to us. Like we're a one-stop shop that way. That's the terms there have been very helpful, with track leases, with other options like that through our in-house financing. That's made the biggest difference in people feeling confident again.
You mentioned longevity of your trailers, and I mean that's obviously a tremendous benefit to your customers, but that maybe means that they're not like re-upping on replacement trailers all the time.
Yeah.
But it made me think about like what percentage of your sales are to existing customers versus new customers.
It's a good question. We have a really great blend of new to existing. And going back to sales cycles, that's really proven true over the last few years. Long-term customers that have trusted our product for year after year, it ebbs and flows, but we end up seeing a great blend of existing customers coming back, even as up in the higher like 60s to 70%, people just long-term customers that are like, I need to re-up my fleet. And then we have new customers that are just getting their first opportunity. And you mentioned that, the longevity of the trailers, that does play to that quite a bit. We have existing customers who've told us like we have a major problem with our trailers, and it's that they last too long. We end up selling them a trailer that they're like, I won't need another one for 10 years. So those repeat customers coming back, it's really funny to see it. But yeah, somebody will say, I haven't needed to buy a trailer in 10 years, and now I'm
sure. Yeah.
Needing to update some things, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure you stay in touch with those customers and you treat them right, and you know that they'll come back, right? Like when the time is right for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, Keith, when it comes specifically to potatoes, your particular trailer design, have you guys been able to identify or communicate like how the handling in your trailers versus other modes is better for the potatoes to reduce damage, bruising, so on?
Yeah. That's always a sticking point for anybody. Is they want, any good farmer is going to say, I need to protect my product. And so what we have found in the years that we've been building these, we first started with what was our 25-inch belt, and that narrow belt is really like the Cadillac for potatoes. Like it allows the potatoes to flow without restriction. We put liners in all of our trailers, like everybody else likely does, but that 25-inch belt helps with the flow. The problem that we had for a long time was there are certain operations where drop out of the back of the trailer is something you can't predict. So back in 2016, we actually patented a design for what we call our Ultra Spud tail fin. And that product, that tail fin design, it has a taper on it so that when you're bringing that receiving equipment up underneath the back end of the trailer, you got enough clearance between where the shaft is mounted, and we mount the shaft 18 inches rearward, and then you have enough of a shelf there to unload into the receiving equipment, not have potatoes dropping so far or tumbling out and falling on the ground. So that's something that has helped. When it comes to the flow of the potatoes, if you're familiar with the back end of our trailer, we have tail fins that come off the back that help direct that product down. And yeah, the flow of potatoes is key when it comes to unloading with a belt trailer, and rather than it just coming off in like a big loaf out the back of the back of the trailer. So yeah, that's over the years we've seen that's the best way to do it with that Ultra Spud tail fin. The other thing that we've really spent a lot of time on is making sure that the product that we build is going to work for all of the products that the company wants to haul. So if somebody's going to be hauling something other than potatoes, we would build a trailer with a wider belt, whether that be a 31-inch or a 36-inch belt. And all of those trailers flow really smoothly for potatoes. We don't hear much of damage due to the trailer. A lot of times, we used to hear a lot about damage in the fields when they first started that pile in the back of the trailer. So we just instruct customers to load it from the front of the trailer to the back. So you can kind of build up that pile a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tremendous benefit to the processors when you're not, any opportunity to remove damage opportunity, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like extremely important, especially before going into storage, where it's going to sit for several months before it's consumed or gone to the process plant. Yeah. You touched on something that reminded me about a conversation you and I had at Potato Expo. Is like you have a kind of a standard trailer concept, but your trailers are actually custom. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like it's not just like buy a potato trailer necessarily.
Yeah. We build we've built anything from a single axle to a 6-axle trailer, and we build them in all sorts of different configurations. The beauty of ordering a trailer from us is that it isn't a one size fits all. There are some operations that they want a taller sidewall because they're going to be hauling in cold weather conditions and they need that extra ambient air to hold some warmth in. Others will order trailers that are, really short sidewalls because they're only going to haul potatoes and they're going to only move them from the field to the storage. When it comes to the door configuration on the back as well, the rear loading piler, there are a lot of potato sheds down in southern Idaho that still use that kind of equipment, but then there's other companies, other operations that they just swing the full back door open and can load that way. So it's the door configuration, how they unload, whether you need a flip up, what kind of opening you need on the flip up door on the bottom. We design all that for you. Some operations want to be able to see the potatoes through the back so that they know exactly how many, how high they got piled up in there. So we've got, that expanded metal for the spud door, which is that upper door that swings down into the trailer. And then we can do that in plywood. We can do that in steel. It's there's a lot of customization to do to the trailer. So it's not just something off the shelf.
Where are you heading to next with your product innovation? Do you have an innovation roadmap?
Yeah, we do. Some pretty exciting stuff when it comes to folks that I can't tell you too much about it, but it's people that are trying to bring more automation to their operation. There's still a lot of manual parts of moving potatoes, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to remove as much manual as possible. Something that we do currently have that's helpful is we've worked with some really great people to make some electric tarp systems that really do work for the potato industry. Tarps are one of those things that you don't really think about them. You're thinking about the unload, you're thinking about the chain flap assembly, but the tarp system is very critical in moving potatoes because that's what's going to seal the top up. And a lot of times the potatoes are what is actually giving the structure to that tarp. So the tarp will roll over and it's actually resting on the potatoes. So a tarp system isn't just a one size fits all there either. Depending on how tall you're going to pile up your potatoes. As a manufacturer, we can only tell you to the legal limit that you're driving over the road, but but yeah, you need to be able to cover those. And so electric tarps we're seeing that more and more. Those are really driven by customer demand, and a lot of guys are just saying, yeah, I don't really want to roll that anymore. So a lot of work has been done there. We also have some wired and wireless remote systems. So you can stand clear of the back of the trailer and you can control your flow and your door opening and closing with a remote. And there are some operations where that's very key, particularly with cross-contamination. Keeping less people off of the ground and around the product, the safer they can make sure. Seed potato is one that you have to be really careful of. So we have some options there as well.
Have you seen any potato shippers, like transition away from maybe, like dry vans or things like that to go into your trailer design with different tarps or whatever it may be?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like inserts, or just moving completely away from a dry van to moving
away from them?
Oh yeah. I'm not sure that we've had people completely move away from them. Dry vans kind of have their place when it comes to like the fresh pack stuff. But we have seen some operations that they just kind of used to accept that they were going to have potatoes frozen, and they were just going to have to live with that. And the reason that they were using dry vans for something like that was because they had to have the space inside. Like I was mentioning before, how some folks will have a little extra space up top so that it kind of holds in some ambient air. We have a cold weather package that if you see those trailers, they're out running around, but they're very tall, and you'd look at it and go, you'd never fill that with potatoes. And no, you wouldn't. It's really designed so that you can load it indoors and be able to keep it completely tarped. So we have seen some folks in that regard move to one of our trailers. Van trailers, still see them a lot back east with some of the larger chip producers. They have those big tippers, but even at operations like that, I always see our trailers running from the field to the storage. And interesting enough too, I know this is not about trailers, but kind of about trailers. I think it's really interesting that some operations back east, they have to clean their own potatoes, and they're responsible for loading them into the dry van, and that's not on the processor side.
You'll often see that there's a clear difference between the potato chip industry and the French fry industry, for instance. Sure. And most French fry processors will receive potatoes either directly from the field or directly from the storage, and then wash them and clean them at the processing facility. And it's almost always the exact opposite in the chip industry in our experience. So, it's kind of a quirk. The economics are a bit different.
For sure.
Of having so many wash plants distributed for the volume of some of the larger French fry processors is a bit more challenging rather than having it in one location. So
makes sense. Yeah, that was something new for me because growing up here in Idaho, I was used to my dad's side of the family is all in southern Idaho, and then my mom's side of the family is up here in kind of just the edge of the Treasure Valley. So I'd see potato sheds both directions when we go out of town, and I just always assumed that, they store them there until they need to be fried up, and then they just go there. And then working at Trinity, back east, I was like, so you guys have to wash them yourself? Like, that's wild. But it makes sense. Economies of scale, I guess, and the sizes of operations and all that.
You ever expect you'd be so embedded in the potato industry? Looking back 15 years.
No, it is pretty funny. Had a good friend of mine actually say, because I was sending him videos from some of the farm shows, and I'm like, and he texted me back. He's like, if you had told me 20 years ago that Keith Eastman would be sending me videos from farm shows, I would have told you you're crazy. But yeah, it's been so rewarding to be a part of it. Being a part of an American manufactured product, getting to see all the raw material and know all the people that are building the trailers at our facility here in Boise, and then seeing them go down the road. My wife gets so tired of me telling her all the people and all the products that are moved in Trinity trailers, but it really is, it is very special to be part of the potato industry and to be serving there, and it's just the longevity that we have in that industry. It's one that we're always going to have a reverence for. These people that grow this product and move this product are some of the hardest working people I've ever met. And it always sounds cliche when we tell new salespeople or people that are starting with our company, like, you're actually feeding the world. And when you say it kind of sounds like funny coming out of your mouth, but the trailers we use from Presque Isle, Maine to Southern California, like, these trailers are moving potatoes and feeding our families. And so there's a big sense of pride in our operation for supplying these trailers to the potato industry.
Yeah, that's incredible perspective. And North American producers are truly feeding a huge portion of the world, not just potato guys, but potatoes travel so far from North American farms around the world. It's incredible the impact it has. And
Oh,
that humble potato carries a lot of families' livelihoods, ours included. So I'm very grateful of all those involved, including you guys moving potatoes. I happen to see Trinity trailers all over the roads here in southern Idaho and wherever I travel in North America. I've done several cross-country road trips and see them all over the place carrying different things. So and they're quite recognizable.
Oh yeah, they're very
truss
signature
frame on the side.
Yeah, very signature thing. Yeah, it's one of those things that like it seems like there's not much to it because you look at it on the side and you're like, oh yeah, I get it, trailer with the truss on it, frameless design, got it. But man, there is a lot that goes into that and went into that innovating that product. Another great advantage to having been building this one product really for the last 50 years is that we have amazing customers who have said this would be better if. Anytime we hear that prefix to a sentence, we know that somebody is giving us a gift. They're saying, hey, I would buy this again if you could fill in the blank. And we do everything we can to oblige those. That's why we have different belt widths. It's because people are like, yeah, this is great for potatoes. I could also haul grain if it flowed better. Can you guys build a wider belt? And we've done that. And the iterations that we have, the customers that come back time and time again, they have made us better. And that is a huge gift from people in the potato industry and beyond.
Where's the next trade show on your schedule? Have you got something lined up?
Yeah, we don't have any factory shows in the immediate future. What I call factory shows. We do several throughout the year with dealers. Some up in Canada, some in southern Georgia. There's shows all over. But I think the next one we have coming up is a show with a dealer. We're already signed up for Potato Expo next year and excited about that. And we're looking to expand a little bit too. So as people are out here on the roads, if they know a better place for us to come visit them, or maybe we just need to do a demo in their town or with their operation, we're all about it. So and
when you say looking to expand, Keith, you're talking about just expanding your reach, your geographic reach, or
no, just expanding our trade show lineup. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't have any plans, at least in the immediate future, to expand, to my knowledge. But we're always looking at it. It's we do have a great group of dealers that we've worked with for many years all over the country that have helped our customers and make sure that we can provide good service and parts to them as well. Our parts and service team here in Boise, we can get parts out at a remarkably fast rate, even manufactured parts. So waiting for those is not something people have to do as much. And then we stock a lot of stuff too, which has really helped people, especially during harvest or planting, where they're like, gosh, I need to replace this. And this is like the worst time to have this go down. And we can have parts to them quickly. We've gone as far as to have a couple chain and flap assemblies, sitting ready to go in case somebody needed it. But yeah, people can always call our parts department. We'll work as fast as we can to get them parts.
Where can people go to learn more about you and Trinity Trailer?
Yeah, to learn more about Trinity, you can go to www.trinitytrailer.com. My professional profile is really just mostly on LinkedIn, but
perfect.
But yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn every once in a while. I'll post something that's inspiring to me, maybe. I don't know if it is to anybody else, but it's just love engaging on there. We have a lot of customers on LinkedIn, and so it's fun to bring that personal element to the business. And then Instagram, Facebook. We do have a few TikTok videos out there, but mostly engaging there on Instagram and Facebook, and love when people tag us in photos of their trailers running, because it's just super inspiring, and it's like jet fuel to our entire team to see all of their hard work in the field. So if people want to tag us, that would be awesome.
Well, that's a not so subtle drop to those Trinity customers out there. So yeah. So please help Keith out and tag him in your social posts, because there's a lot of our egg friends out there that are social media savvy, way more than both of us probably. So
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
Cool. Well, Keith, it was fun to learn about your background and about the unique advantages of Trinity's trailers for the ag industry, especially the potato industry. And
yeah,
thanks for spending time with us and sharing the good stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great to be here.
All right. Well, we'll see you around at another trade show opportunity, hopefully before Potato Expo 2027.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Keith. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, subscribe so you don't miss future shows. And of course, share it with a friend. And please leave us a review or rating. Your feedback really helps us bring you the best possible potato content. Be sure to check out the Tater Talk Podcast YouTube channel and other social platforms. To learn more about me and how I help potato processors grow their business, check me out on LinkedIn or at www.projectsconsultants.com. That's PROJEX consultants.com. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back soon, but until then, eat more fries.